Hi there, our starter questions today are using BODMAS. Do you remember doing that? So that's where we used our special word BODMAS, and each letter in the word stands for a mathematical operation. Remember what they all were? It was brackets of divide, multiply, add and subtract. But basically the point of this is to make sure we get the same answer every time, that there's no ambiguity or vagueness or doubt about what the answer should be. So really, when it comes to dividing and multiplying, adding and subtracting, all that we mean is the dividing and multiplying has to happen before the adding and subtracting. It doesn't mean that you have to do your adding before you're subtracting, and it doesn't mean that you do your dividing before you're multiplying. It means that you do your dividing and multiplying before you do your adding and subtracting. Okay, so let's have a look and work out some answers then. So the first one, we can see we've got an add, we've got an add, a multiply and a subtract. Okay, so the thing that has to happen first there is the multiply. That comes first in our BODMAS list. So that's the first thing that we've got to do. So when we're looking at the multiply, what we're looking at is 3 times 2. So we have to do our 3 times 2 before we do anything else. So we leave the 5 add as it was. The 3 times 2 is 6, and we've still got to take away 4. And now when it comes down to adding and subtracting, you just work left to right. So 5 add 6 is 11, take away 4 is 7. Okay, the next one is certainly more complicated. So we've got an add, a multiply, a subtract and a divide. We've got lots of things to do there. Plus, we've also got the brackets. Okay, so in this question, we've got brackets, we've got a divide, we've got a multiply, we've got an add, and we've got a subtract. Okay, so the first thing we've got to work out there is the bracket. So we're going to leave the 8 plus and the divided by 3 on their own, and we're going to work out this bracket. Now, within our bracket, we can see that we've got a multiply and a subtract. So looking at our BODMAS list, the multiply has to happen before the subtract. So we do 2 times 7 first, and we take away 5. So what we've got here is 14 take away 5. So the value of the bracket is 9. And now we can see we've got an add and we've got a divide, and the dividing has to happen before the adding. So we do the 9 divided by 3 is 3. So it's 8 add 3, which is 11. Okay, right. So this is what we've been doing. This is where we're at just now. We've looked at different foreign currencies, and we've looked at changing sterling, which is Great British pounds, into other currencies. So what we're going to do today is look at how we change other currencies back into sterling. So this is the same table as we had yesterday. And remember how you use that is when we exchange sterling for other currencies, we look at the exchange rate, and that tells you how much of the foreign currency you get for £1. Okay, so all you're going to have to do when you're when you're changing sterling, pounds into other currencies, you just multiply by the number of pounds you've got. So this is what you get. For example, this is how many euros you get for £1. So if you wanted £10 worth of euros, you'd multiply that by 10. Or if you wanted to change £300 into New Zealand dollars, we'd do 300 times 2.0237. Okay, so what I want us to think about is this bit here. So if we wish to change other currencies into sterling, if we want to go the other way, we should do the opposite, shouldn't we? So the question is, what is the opposite of multiplying by the exchange rate? Can you remember when we did inverses, when we were solving equations? Okay, think, what's the opposite of multiplying by something? It's dividing, isn't it? So the opposite of multiplying by the exchange rate is divide by the exchange rate, or dividing by the exchange rate. Oops, Daisy. Okay, so if we're changing pounds into a foreign currency, we multiply by the exchange rate. If we're starting off with the foreign currency and we want to know how many pounds we get, we're going to divide by the exchange rate. Okay, so we're going to start off with 450 yen. So we take our amount of yen and we divide by the exchange rate for yen. So let's have a look down the list. We find yen here, remember there for Japan. So the exchange rate is 132.55. So 132.55. So we'll need to do this on your calculator because you probably don't know your 132.55 times table. So working that out, you get, now the answer comes up as 3.394 and some decimal places. Okay, but remember, when this is money, we're changing this back into sterling, so it's back into pounds. So we write that as a number of pounds. We need a pound sign and we need 2 decimal places. So it's the 4 telling us to leave the 9 as it is. So it's £3.39. Okay, the next one, we've got New Zealand dollars. So let's find New Zealand dollars. They're here. So our exchange rate is 2.0237. So we're going to start with our 300 New Zealand dollars and we're going to divide by the exchange rate. So divide by 2.0237. And when we work that out on a calculator, we get 148.2433 and other decimal places. So when we round that to 2 decimal places to make it into pounds and pence, then here's our 2 decimal places and the 3 tells us to leave the 4 as it is. So we've got 148.24 or 148 pounds 24 should I say, sorry. Okay, the next one, we've got rupees. So let's find rupees. Remember they're Indian. So we need this exchange rate this time. So we're starting off with 5,000 rupees. And we're going to divide by the exchange rate, which is 93.608. And when we do that division, we get 53.4142 and more decimal places. So when we change that so it looks like proper money, we get 53 and rounding it to 2 decimal places, it's 41. So £53.41. Right, next one, 95 Swiss francs. 95 divided by, well, here's Swiss francs. There's the exchange rate, 1.2023. And we get 79.0152, etc. So that's going to be £79. And now when we have a look, 2 decimal places is here, but that 5 tells you need to move that 1 up to a 2. So it's 02, so £79.02. Next one, 210 South African rands. So let's find them. There they are. So there's the exchange rate. So 210 divided by 22.644. 210 divided by 22.644 gives us 9.2739, etc. So when we change that into pounds to 2 decimal places, we get £9.27. Then we've got US dollars. So let's have a look. Now, just looking at our list here, we've got dollars, 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 and dollars. These all say which country they're from. This one doesn't, but if we look across here, USD means United States dollars. Okay, and because they're used more than any other kind of dollars, then they tend to be the ones that are just called dollars without the US in front of it necessarily. Okay, so we've got dollars here, and there's our exchange rate. So 50 divided by 1.2362 gives us 40.4465. So it's £40, and rounding to 2 decimal places. Well, that's where we're rounding, but the 6 tells you to move that 4 up to a 5, so it's 45. Okay, and the last one, euros. Remember the euros symbol? So we're looking for euros, which is here. So we've got 20 divided by 1.1423. Oops. And we get 17.5085. So that will give us £17, and when we round it correctly to 2 decimal places, we get 51 pence. Okay, so you've got some practice questions to do on this. Remember that if you're trying to change pounds into a foreign currency, you multiply. And if you're changing from the foreign currency into pounds, you divide by the exchange rate. Okay, so good luck with that, and I will see you tomorrow.